Yes, very good afternoon. So today we are going to discuss about uh, a temperature distribution between the tubes, means in the flat plate collector. So we already knew that a flat plate collector means it consists of a cover and observer plate, means number of covers, maybe one or two, then observer plate, then there is a tubes, and inside the tube there is a fluid is flowing, okay, and lastly it is surrounded by an insulator, and finally with a casing. So this is what the a construction of flat plate collectors. And here the temperature distribution, so that is a important, means the how much radiation is passes through the cover, okay, how much radiation is passes through the cover and how much radiation is reaches the observer plate. That is the one thing. And second thing, from the observer plate, how much heat is reaches to the fluid, how much heat is reaches to the fluid through the tubes, okay. So in the tubes the fluid is flowing, and finally we can get the heat in the form of means that water or fluid slowly gaining the temperature. So here we cannot calculate the how much radiation is flowing through the cover, or how much energy is collected in the observer plate, but we can easily find out the outcome of the fluid, means the fluid is flowing inside the tube, okay, and it will passes through that observer plate, and the observer plate, because of the radiation, it will gain the heat, and that heat will slowly transfer to the fluid, and at the exit, okay, at the exit we can measure the temperature, that is what the fluid temperature. So that fluid temperature will indicates that how much heat is absorbed and how it is distributed, okay. And it is desirable to have understanding the temperature distribution. It is very much necessary to understand the temperature distribution that exists in the solar collector constructed shown in the figures. So these figures will explain, and these figures are almost consist of with a tubes, okay, maybe fluids okay, flowing in always in the tubes. And some of the solar energy observer by the plate must be conducted along the plate to the region of tubes. Thus the temperature midway between the tubes will higher than a tube temperature in the at the vicinity of the tubes, means in the always the temperature of the fluid is higher in the midway when compared to the vicinity of those tubes. The temperature above the tubes will be nearly uniform, okay, the temperature above the tubes will be nearly uniform because of a presence of tube and weld metals, okay. So the temperature what we are going to assume that it is a uniform temperature, okay. And the energy transfer to the fluid will be heat to the fluid, and causing the temperature gradient to exist in the direction of the flow, always in the direction of flow, since the any region of the collector and the general temperature level is governed by the a local temperature level of the fluid, and this is shown in the figure. And always the heat flowing in the x direction, okay, and in the y direction. In the general temperature distribution in the x direction, okay, and at any location x the temperature distribution in the y direction will look like figure. So means here in the y direction it indicates that the thickness of the tubes, okay, and the x direction, okay, it is along the diameter of the tubes. So the heat distribution is in the x direction as well as in the y direction. And this heat distribution between the tubes we can have some assumptions, okay, and these are the some assumptions what we are generally consider for a temperature distribution along the tubes. The first assumption is performance is steady state, means there is no turbulence, the performance is steady state, first thing, first assumption. And the construction is of sheet, means the tube is made by a sheet, it is not with a heavy thickness or more the thickness, the observer plate is made by a sheet, okay, it is not with a heavy thick metal, okay, because if the thickness is more, that it won't allow the or it won't conduct the heat, that's why it is made by the sheet. And the header over the small area of the collector and can be neglected. So the collector, okay, collector, whatever that the collector area is very small, that so that in that whatever that heat loss is, we are going to neglect. And the header provides the uniform flow to the tubes, means from the header, okay, from the header whatever the inflow is there, so that inflow is always uniform flow inside the fluid, okay. And there is no absorption of the solar energy by the cover, so there is no energy absorbed by the cover, that is we are going to neglect, or it can taken as a zero energy absorbed by the cover. And heat flow through the cover is one dimensional, means here we are considering one dimensional, we are considering a one dimensional. And there is a negligible temperature drops through the cover, that is what, along the cover the temperature drops is negligible. And the cover is opaque and infrared radiations, means it won't allow to transfer the infrared radiations, only it will allow the visible light. And there is a one dimensional heat flow through the a back insulation. In the back insulation also the one dimensional heat flow. And the sky can be considered as a black body. We know that the sky actually is the black body, because of the reflection it will look like a blue color. So here we are going to consider this sky as a black body for a longer wavelength radiations, means in the sky will absorb all that longer wavelength radiations which are reflected from the cover. The temperature gradient around the tube can be neglected, means along the tubes, okay, that the temperature gradient means the change in the temperature with a change in the length, that we can neglect it. The temperature gradients in the direction of the flow between the tubes can be treated independently, means along the x direction, okay, along the x direction the temperature is gradient is different. It may be x direction in the beginning it may be a small temperature, okay, means lower temperature, and in the midway it is higher temperature, and in the exit it may be a low temperature. That is what we are going to consider. The properties of independent temperatures are independent temperatures, and the loss through front and back are same ambient temperature. And the dust and the dirt on the collectors are negligible, means we are going to neglect the dust and dirt on the cover plate. And shading of the absorber plate is also neglected, means these are the factors which affects the performance of the liquid flat plate collector, shading, dust, okay. So these things we are going to neglect it, okay. So based on this we are going to discuss with a collector efficiency factor, and here calculating the overall efficiency, means in the previous what we discussed previous class, we discussed a overall heat loss or efficiency, overall loss coefficients we discussed, that is what U, UL, UT, UB, US side, okay, bottom and top, what we are discussed. And the heat loss from the collector can be calculated if the average plate temperature is known, means if you know the average plate temperature, we can easily calculate the collector heat loss. However, this temperature is generally not known, means we cannot measure this temperature. It will therefore, it is necessary to consider the flow of heat in the absorber plate and across the fluid tubes to the fluid is, so that the value is TPM. We are going to consider that TP or TPM. So in the slide we consider TP, or we can consider as a TPM, can be related to the value of the inlet fluid temperature, and which can be a known quantity, means we can easily measure that quantity. In order to simplify the problems, okay, the approach adopted will be to conduct a number, means we can a one dimensional analysis. So we can consider as a one dimensional analysis, that is what we assumed in a previous slide. The first, the one dimensional flow of heat in the absorber plate in a direction at an right angle to the direction of flow will be considered, and this will be followed by the considering of the heat flow from the plate to the a fluid across the tube wall, and finally the one dimensional flow of the fluid inside the tube will be easily analyzed. I now consider just see this figure, okay. Yes, in the slide you just see the first figure. Consider a collector having an absorber plate. We already know that there is an observer plate, okay, and with a cover and observer plate and adhesives. And this plate is with a dimension of, this observer plate is always with a dimension of L1 and L2, okay, length and width. As say there are n fluids tube, means we can consider n number of fluid tubes, maybe 10, 20, 30 fluid tubes, that indicates by n, if n is a number of fluid tubes, and pitch of the tube is W. So, pitch of the tube is W, and it can be divided by, it can be given by L2 divided by N, L2 divided by N, that gives the pitch, means the gap between the tubes. Let us di and d naught be the inside and outside diameter of the tube. If we consider this tube, okay, this d naught is the outside diameter and di is the inside diameter. This is an outside diameter and this is an inside diameter of the particular one tube, and capital N is the number of the tubes and W is the pitch, means the gap between. Here there is a gap between the two consecutive tubes. It is a one tube, second tube, third tube, means the consecutive tube, the gap between these two is denoted by W, and that is in the direction of x we are going to consider. Okay. And consider the section of observer plate with the two adjacent fluids, with the two adjacent fluid tubes. Just consider this figure, it is a number 1 and number 2, number 1 tube, number 2, number 3, number 4, like this we can place the n number of tubes, and you just consider a 1 and second, first and second tubes. Okay. The temperature in the plate, that is Tp, the temperature in the plate Tp will be vary in the x direction, means along the x direction this temperature is varies, and it will be assumed that the same distribution exists between the any two tubes. The above fluid tube, the temperature will be constant, and while in the between the tubes the temperature will passes through a maximum. And taking the slice, okay, here is just taking the slice dy in the direction of y direction, this is a y direction, consider a dy along the flow direction, and neglecting heat conduction in the plate in the direction, and we can write this energy balance for this element is dx and dy, means we are going to consider for only a smaller element, we are going to consider for only a smaller element of the plate. And the final equation from this, the final equation we can written as the heat loss from the element, means for the small element, just we are only considering for the small element. Okay. So, for heat loss from the small element, which can be given by a net heat conducted in that element, means the net heat is conducted in the element plus addition and sum of that net heat conducted the element plus incident energy absorbed, that gives the net loss from the element, which given by net heat conducted into the element, how much heat is conducted by that element, plus incident energy absorbed, means how much the radiation is absorbed, that gives the heat loss from the element. And we can write it in the equation form, that is a Kp, which is a Kp okay. So, Kp we already know that Kp means is a thermal conductivity of the plate, Kp into dou P, dou means very small quantity. So, dou P means it is a thickness of the plate, Kp into dou P into d square Tp by dx square, Tp by dx square, that is what change in the temperature along the x direction, that into a small element we are going to consider for the small element, that is why dx plus dy, and S means we already know that S is a solar flux, a solar radiation flux, that much of flux is entered through the cover to reaches the absorber plate. So that is what S, okay, into dx dy means it is for the small quantity we are going to consider. So this is a radiation absorbed, and this is what the net heat conducted for the element. Heat conducted is, it is the conductivity, means thermal conductivity into thickness, that gives the net heat conducted, plus S means solar flux, that gives the overall heat loss from the element. Heat loss from the element which is given by UL. We already know that UL is the heat loss coefficient. It is a overall heat loss coefficient which includes UL is equal to UT plus UB plus US, means it is a top, bottom and side loss, okay, loss coefficients. And dx dy it is for the small, and Tp minus Ta means Tp is the temperature of the fluid or plate temperature, minus Ta is the ambient temperature or atmospheric temperature. So this equation, you should remember this equation, means in the previous slide we written as the net heat conducted into element plus the incident energy absorbed, which is equal to heat loss for the element, and that sentence we replaced by a equation called Kp rho, means dou p d square Tp by dx square dx dy plus S dx dy is equal to UL dx dy Tp minus Ta. And here if you take dx dy as a common and if you cancel it, and after simplification, after simplifying this equation, you will get a final equation called d square Tp by dx square, which is equal to UL, means after taking a common outside, and if you send this term to left side, means if you send this term to left side, okay, and dx dy get cancels, okay, and this Kp and dou p and send to the right side, and finally the equation will become d square Tp by dx square, which is equal to UL. You just take a UL as a common, and Kp by Kp and dou p bracket, take this Tp minus Ta, and this S is there, we send the right side, so it is become a minus S, and here UL term is there, but here there is no L term, so that you can denominator is UL term. Okay, if you multiply this inside, it is become only S. These UL get cancelled. Okay, for simplification we written like this. And applying boundary conditions, if you apply boundary conditions for above equation, okay, we can call it as this equation 1. If you apply boundary conditions when x is equal to 0, means in the beginning when x is equal to 0, the temperature is also 0, change in the temperature is also 0, means in the beginning when the x is equal to 0, the temperature is also 0, means the change in the temperature, it is same as the ambient temperature. Okay, so change in the temperature is 0. But when x is equal to W minus D naught by 2, okay, and this Tp is become Tp naught, means it is the maximum temperature. Okay, so these are the two boundary conditions. By using these boundary conditions, we can simplify this above equations, and it can be written as the above equations applying the boundary conditions, we can written as, means after applying the integration, means if you integrate, okay, this is a differentiable form. Okay, so after this integration, means we are going to consider for the only smaller element, and that smaller element applying boundary conditions, that gives the equation for that entire plate. Okay, so that is what we did, and here after that integration and applying boundary conditions, finally we got Tp minus into Ta plus S by UL whole divided by Tp naught minus Ta plus S by UL, which is equal to cos H mx, cos divided by cos H m into W minus dA naught by 2. This is the equation. Okay, and where that m term indicates that root of UL divided by Kp into dou p. And the temperature distribution obtained is similar to that of for the longer rectangular fin, and the rate at which energy is conducted through the plate for the one fluid tube we can consider for Yes, this is a, we can consider, and this can be is which is equal to minus 2 kp rho p into dTp divided by dx, and here where x is equal to w minus d naught by 2 into dy, and this is for the rate at which energy is conducted, the rate at which energy is conducted through the plate for only one fluid tube. Okay, and we can substitute, and finally that equation is become 2 root of kp rho p divided by ul into s minus ul tp naught minus ta into tan h whole m into w minus dA naught by 2 dy, and the rate at which energy is absorbed, it can be given by d naught into s minus ul tp naught minus ta into dy, and thus the useful energy gain for all n tubes, means n number of tubes, only what we did only for one tube. So now it is go for n number of tubes, maybe 10 tubes, 20 tubes, 30 tubes if you use, or 100 tubes we can use. For that the collector overall the length is dy, and which is given by, okay, so this is the dQ, means the energy loss or heat loss, dQu overall energy heat loss, which is given by for n number of plates, n number of tubes, n into s minus ul divided by tp naught minus ta into whole bracket 2 kp naught by ul root tan h m w minus dA naught by 2 plus dA naught into dy, and where this phi means if you introduce the term phi, so we can return this simpler manner, means if you return the above equation in the simpler manner by introducing the concept of a plate efficiency, that is what phi, the phi is nothing but a plate efficiency which is defined as a ratio of heat conducted, means this phi, okay, this phi, it's a ratio of heat conducted through the plate to the fluid tube to the heat which would have been conducted if the thermal conductivity of the plate material was infinite. Then we can consider this phi value, and it again given by a phi is equal to tan h into m w minus dA naught by 2 m w naught d naught divided by 2, that is the a value, and this we can replace by phi value. Okay, and thus the final that equation will become 1 by n dQu divided by dy, which is equal to s minus ul into t p naught minus ta, and which is given by phi, we introduce this term phi into w minus dA naught plus dA naught. So this is a equation, and next we are going to consider the flow of a heat from the plate to the fluid. So far only from the plate. So now the plate to the fluid heat transfer. The thermal resistance in the path due to the adhesive used attached to the tube to the observer plate, the tube wall, and the heat transfer coefficient and the inner surface of the tube, and these assuming that the thermal resistance of the tube wall to be neglected, and finally we can written as that, or we can simplify that equation as 1 by n dQu divided by dy, which is equal to t p naught minus tf divided by dou a divided by ka d naught plus 1 divided by phi di hf, where we already know that dou means it's a thickness. So here the thickness, average thickness, okay, we are going to consider the average thickness of the plate. Ka means it's a thermal conductivity of the adhesive material. We are using adhesive for binding the two substances, okay, cover and the observer plate. So that adhesive that thermal conductivity is, it is also important, the thermal conductivity of the adhesive material. Then Tf means a local fluid temperature, means the temperature which is a fluid which is inside the tube, that's local temperature. And Hf, heat transfer coefficient on the inside surface of the tube, means there is an inside and outside diameter is there, the tube, okay, that heat transfer coefficient, it is given by Hf. Finally, okay, if you finally that equation by combining that above equations, and finally we can written as a 1 by this equation, you just remember these equations, okay. This equation is 1 by n, n means number of tubes, dq by dy along the y directions, which is equal to s minus ul into Tf minus T naught, okay, whole divided by ul into 1 by ul w minus d naught phi plus d naught plus dou Ka d naught plus 1 divided by phi di Hf, okay. And now we can define, means we can introduce the one term called F naught, that is what the F naught is, the collector efficiency, means you just remember this equation F naught is the final collector efficiency, okay. And this collector efficiency F naught is given by 1 divided by W UL, where W we already know that what is that W, what is that UL, and what is that D naught phi dou A Ka and Di Hf. We already know that these terms what is meant by, okay. So that F naught, it is given by 1 divided by W UL whole 1 divided by UL W minus D naught into phi plus D naught plus rho dou A divided by Ka dou naught D naught plus 1 divided by phi Di Hf, okay. And substituting the above value in the equation, and finally you will get a equation called 1 divided by n into dqu by dy, which is equal to W F naught. You just introduce that F naught term, that F naught means it is an collector efficiency factor, that is what we want, collector efficiency factor, W F naught into S minus UL Tf minus Ta, okay. So you just remember this equation and also remember the F naught, what is meant by F naught, okay. And this F naught represents the ratio of actual useful gain, means that heat gain rate per a tube per unit, okay. And this is up to the observer plate of Tf temperature. So Tf is the observer plate temperature. And the next is a collector heat removal factor, similar like a collector efficiency factor, similar like that we are going to derive one more thing called collector heat removal factor, you just consider this figure, and here, okay, the one dimensional analysis, it is all one dimensional analysis, and it will be performed along the direction of fluid flow with the objective determining the variation of the fluid temperature, that is more the variation of the fluid temperature along the flow direction. And this analysis, it helps to linking the useful heat gain rate, means if you want to know the heat gain rate, you should know this heat removal rate of the fluid, okay. So now consider a controlled volume, means consider a controlled volume of elementary length dy, okay. So this is a dy of the one tube, only we are considering for the one tube, and applying a first law of thermodynamics, just applying the first law of thermodynamics, this is what the heat in and this is what the heat out, okay. And the rate of change of enthalpy of the fluid flowing through the controller volume, means the first law state that the rate of change of fluid, okay, the rate of change of enthalpy, means that is what the heat enthalpy of the fluid flowing through the control volume, which is equal to rate of heat transfer to the fluid inside the controlled volume, means how much rate is the heat is transferred, okay, flowing through the controlled volume, which is equal to, okay, which is equal to the how much heat transferred to the fluid inside the controlled volume. Clear? And it can be written as a equation here. This is what the equation we can consider. Heat transfer flow equations, and these are the some important equations you should remember. Okay, so there is no derivations, only you just remember these equations, and you, in the examinations they may ask about the explain about controller heat removal factor. In that you have to write this figure and you have to explain and you have to write this equation. So this useful heat gain rate flow, the equations is given by QU, means it is a heat loss QU, which is equal to m dot Cp, okay, m dot Cp into Tf naught minus Tfi, outside and inside, which is given by a term, and we can introduce that exponential term, okay, and finally that equation will reduce this to QU, which is equal to Fr Ap S, that whole into S UL Tfi minus Ta, where Fr means, okay, that Fr it is called as a collector heat removal factor. It is a collector heat removal factor, and that is given by m dot Cp divided by UL Ap whole into 1 minus exponential F dash UL Ap divided by m dot Cp. So that is the a final equation that you have to remember. So Fr is the a collector heat removal factor, and it is an important design parameter since it is a measure of thermal resistance encountered by absorbed solar radiation in reaching the collector fluid. That is most important, okay, and it can be seen that Fr represents the ratio of actual useful heat gain rate to the gain which would occur if the collector absorber plate was the temperature of Tfi inlet, okay, and this may be 0 to 1. This range is 0 to 1, and a convenient expression for this calculating useful energy gain, and because of that inlet fluid temperature, it is as usually a known quantity. Inlet temperature is always known quantity, and it is often referred as by this above equation. Okay. So now by using all these equations we are going to solve one important problem. Okay. So take this problem. The data of a flat plate collector used for heating the building. Okay. The data of a flat plate collector which is used for heating the building. That is the purpose. Okay. And here the location and attitude, that is most important. Location is Baroda and the latitude is 22 degree north. And day and time, day is January 1, okay, and the time is 11:30 to 12:30 noon time. And annual rate intensity of the solar radiation, it is 0.5 Langerli by per minute, okay, and collector tilt latitude is 15 degree, number of glass cover, that is what m is 2, and heat removal factor for that is 0.810, and the transmittance of glass is 88, means how much the radiation is passes through, and absorptions of the glass is 0.90, and the top loss coefficient factor is 7.88, okay, and the collector fluid temperature, inlet temperature is, that is 60 degree, ambient temperature is 15 degree, that is Tp and Ta, they given. By using these data, so you have to calculate a solar latitude angle, first thing, second useful energy gain, third incident angle, fourth one is collector efficiency. You have to calculate these 4 unknown quantities by using these data. Yes. First, yes, write down the equation for solar declination. That is what the solar declination, it is given by a delta which is equal to we already know in the second module what is this equation, okay, delta is equal to 23.45 sine 360 divided by 360 divided by 365 into 284 plus n, okay, and here you just substitute that value, and if you find out that the delta value is become minus 23 degree, okay. So that n, that is what n value. Here in the problem they given January 1st. So Jan 1st means the n value is 1. Why this n is 1 means, okay, the Jan 1st means we are considering that value is n. If Jan 30 means that n value is 30. If February 1st means the Jan value is 32, n value is 32. Like this we are going to consider. So here January 1st, so that n value is 1. And substituting that, we get an angle of declination is minus 23 degree. Means January 1st, that declination angle is minus 23 degree. And next is what you have to find out is solar hour angle. That solar hour angle is for that particular time, it is Ws is 0. The solar hour angle is Ws is 0. And these things we already discussed in the second module. So this one and this one we already discussed in the second module. And also this solar latitude angle, okay, omega A, okay, it is given by sine omega A, which is equal to cos phi, cos declination, and cos Ws, okay, and plus sine phi and sine delta. So we already know the delta value, we already know that omega s value, and by substituting we get final answer is that solar latitude angle is 44.7 degree. And incident angle, to find out the incident angle, 90 minus that, okay. So this is a solar latitude angle, okay. So this is given by alpha A, and this is total 90 degree. If you 90 minus this, it will give the incident angle, that is theta, okay, and the theta is 45.3 degree. The theta value is 43.3 degree. And next is we have to find out the RB. So RB from the equation. So we already know that this equation, okay, in the second module, that RB, okay, radiation for the beam radiations, it is given by this equation. And substituting, we already phi value, we already know that, and also we know the S, okay, S is 37, they given, okay, and substituting all this, we get RB is equal to 1.40. And next thing is the effective, okay, effective transmittance absorption product. That is what? A product of tau into alpha. So the tau into that alpha, which is given by tau alpha divided by 1 minus alpha PD. And we got that alpha value from the given data. That is what? Absorption. That the absorption of the cover plate is 0.9, and substituting that, and also they given rho d. So rho d, it is the diffuse, that is what? Rho d for diffuse refractions, okay, for the two cover, and it is given by 0.811. It is in the given for the two plate, it is 0.811. If it is one plate, it is again different. So here number of plate m is 2, that's why we are going to consider this value. And if you substitute that, this one, okay, rho d, if you substitute that rho d 0.24, finally we got the value of tau A is equal to, tau alpha is equal to 0.811. Clear? So substituting rho d as a 0.24. And solar radiation intensity, that is HP, which is given by 0.5 Lagrange per minute. So if you convert that into 0.5 cal per centimeter square, and that centimeter square to meter square, that's why 10 raised to 4, and it is a minute, okay. So if you for hour, it is become 10 raised to 3 divided by, if you simplify that, finally we got that value is HB is equal to 300 kilojoules per meter square hour. And next is we have to find out the S value, the solar radiation, the flux S, okay, that S is equal to HB, RB, tau, alpha. So we already know that HB value, and also we got the RB value, and tau alpha also we got. So if substitute all those things, and finally we got the value of S, that solar flux, which is equal to 340.64 kilojoules per hour meter square. And finally what we have to find out is useful gain, that is what Q value, just only we got from the previous equations, QU, okay, QU is equal to FR S UL into F TFI minus TA. So these two values are given in the given data, and this is also we just got this value, okay, 6.84, and S just got the value of S, and FR, okay, this factor value also given in the data 0.810. By substituting that, if we simplify, finally we got the value of QU, that is per watt per meter square hour, that is 33.21 watt per meter square hour. And the final unknown you have to identify is collector efficiency. The collector efficiency is given by NC is equal to, so nu C, nu means efficiency. Efficiency for collector, which is equal to QU by HB RB. It's only for the beam radiations, okay, we consider for the beam radiations. So QU, we got the value of 33.21, means this HB into RB means how much energy is inputted, okay. So output divided by input. So output is QU, input is HB into RB. So HB is 300 and into 1.40, it's an RB value, and if you calculate, that gives the 0.06. If you multiply 100, then it will give in terms of percentage. So the collector efficiency factor is 6%. It is of 6%. Only the collector efficiency factor is 6%. So it can be able to convert that 6%. Clear? Okay. And the last bit of this third module is, okay, so after this module, after this bit, we are going to discuss one more interesting topic called PV cells, okay, that we will discuss in the next class. But here the effect of various parameters on the collector performance, these things we already discussed in our second class, okay. Some of the parameters which affects the performance of the collector, flat plate collector. First thing is heat transfer system. Second thing is selective materials, means what surface we are going to coat on the absorber plate, the selective surfaces. Number of covers, if you increase the number of covers, it is going to affect the performance. Collector tilt means it is not exactly flat, it has some inclination, 15 degree, 20 degree. So that is what the collector tilt. Spacing, the spacing between the tubes, one tube and second tube, that is also important. And fluid temperature means inlet fluid temperature. That is also ambient temperature, means inlet fluid temperature and outlet fluid temperature. If the fluid having some temperature, means it is easily absorb the energy, means a small amount of energy is enough to attain the required higher temperature. So cover transmittivity, if the cover transmittivity is good, we can able to transmit maximum radiations to the absorber plate. And dust on the cover means that the cover should be very clean. So if there is a dust, that transmittivity is decreases. If it is clean, it will increase the transmittivity. And performance over a day means in the noon time it is maximum radiations, in the morning and daytime, evening time it is less. So it is also affects the performance of the collectors. These parameters which affects the these are the various parameters which affects the performance of the collector. Okay, these things we already discussed in our second class of the third module.